Well, it's Wednesday, May 28th, 2025. I'm aboard Seaquestor, and as you can see, I'm in the boat shed still. Last year we went in on the 23rd of May. Well, May's been pretty cold, but I'm still fighting the seawater pump on Seaquestor's Westerbeek diesel engine. Why is that? Well, last week on Tuesday, the parts that I ordered, new bearings, seals, etc., came in. So we took, I had the shaft out, and so I took it over to a friend's house who has a hydraulic press, and we put the shaft in the press and tried to press the bearings off of the shaft. Well, that didn't work. I'm going to show you why. This is the shaft right here, and up here, those are the inner races from the bearings. What happened when we tried to press the bearings off was they self-destructed. Outer races cracked, the balls started falling out, and basically, but the inner races would not move. Now, since then, I sprayed these guys with penetrating oil. I'll let them soak for a couple of days. I chucked this thing up in my lathe, and I put a humongous pair of vice grips on the outermost bearing race, this one, and used a bar through that slot there to keep the shaft from moving, and put a good deal of force on it, and that bearing race is basically part of the shaft now. They've rusted together completely, even after 24 hours soaking in penetrating oil. I could not remove either of the inner bearing races, which is what's left after the bearings themselves self-destructed while we were trying to press them off the shaft. Probably because these inner races weren't moving. So what's that mean? Well, that means I need a new shaft. Well, I ordered it as soon as we decided we weren't going to get these bearing races off. And we also put the torch on these to try and heat them up and break out the rust that's in there, and nothing. Couldn't turn them. So anyway, I found a repair kit that included more bearings and everything I need to rebuild the pump, including a new shaft. I also priced a new shaft from Westerbeek, $227, but the full repair kit from Sherwood, which is the manufacturer of the pump, was $200. So I ordered that, and it was shipped to me last week, and it was supposed to be delivered yesterday. Well, I thought they were going to ship it by UPS, but no, they decided to mail it. And they did mail it priority mail, so it moved fairly quickly. Last night at about 3 a.m., it made it to our regional postal distribution center about 45 miles from here. And as of about an hour ago when I left home, it's still there. And hopefully they'll deliver it to the post office tomorrow, and I can go pick it up. Then all I have to do is press the shaft and bearings into the pump body, put the seal in, and we're back in business. And we'll be able to reinstall the pump. I did take the time to repaint the pump. I bought some 1/4 20 by 1/2 inch bronze hex bolts to replace the brass screws that held the cover on the pump. And once I get the parts, I should have the pump together in 15 minutes. I'll be able to put it back in the engine, and the engine will be ready to run. And today I'm over here touching up the epoxy on the joints around the spots on the deck where I cut the top of the deck out and replace the core. I was going to do that last week, but I ran out of hardener, and I bought more, but I've been feeling pretty crummy lately, so this is the first day that I felt like coming over here and working on the boat. So anyway, that's done now. Tomorrow I'll come over and sand all that flush, and we'll mask it and put a coat of paint over it to protect the epoxy, and it'll be ready to go in the water for this year. So anyway, hopefully the parts for the engine will arrive tomorrow. I can get the pump reassembled, and depending on when they show up, I can bring the pump over and put it back on the engine. So hopefully by Friday, the boat will be ready to go in the water, and I can talk to the boatyard about scheduling a launch. I'm not in a big hurry though, because it has been cold. Yesterday and today are the first days it's gotten above 60, and it's actually above 70 today. It's pretty hot. And so that's why I'm a little sweaty. This shed does warm up quickly when the sun is on it. So anyway, hopefully we can get the boat in, but starting tomorrow, temperatures are supposed to drop down into the low 50s for a while. So not the best weather for boating. And also, my boat is in a double slip, in which there's a finger pier, my boat, another boat, and another finger pier on the other side with nothing between them. Right now, or this morning, there is a huge, beamy lobster boat in there that leaves me just over 12 feet of clearance from the lobster boat to the finger pier that will be on my port side when I put the boat in. And so that is an issue, since my boat is 11 feet wide, and by the time I put fenders down, it's 11.5 feet, maybe 11 feet 8 inches. So I've got maybe 4 inches to spare. So until they move that lobster boat out of there, I am not going into that slip. It's just, I'm going to hit the lobster boat if I do. And the lobster boat probably won't care, but they're not exactly beautiful, and they have all sorts of stuff hanging off of them, so tear up my boat pretty good to run into them. So anyway, that's the plan right now, is sometime, hopefully next week, the boat will be ready to go in the water, and we can launch it and get it going. Now, I'm still having some issues with my right knee. I did have a steroid shot in the patellar tendon, which goes from the tibia up to the patella, which is the kneecap, and the pain I was having there is gone. So that was good, but I now have considerable pain on the outside of my knee, right here, starting about here and going up. That is what they call IT band pain. The iliotibial band is a tendon that goes from the tibia, just below the knee, all the way up to a bunch of muscles that attach to the hip. And so I've been doing exercises to stretch those muscles out and loosen that tendon up a little bit. The tendon itself won't stretch, but if I can stretch the muscles out, maybe it'll hurt a little bit less. The pain management doctor is super busy, and my next appointment is at the end of July. So, I have called them and asked if they could reschedule me a little earlier. Haven't heard back yet. So anyway, hopefully I can get in there and they can give me a steroid shot into the tendon sheath on the IT band down by the knee, which should alleviate a lot of the pain. And I've also been having, for some reason, I mowed the lawn a couple days ago, and my lower back went out and was really painful. I cramped up a couple times, and I don't know why. I was sitting on my rider mower. I think I stressed it opening the garage door that the rider mower is behind. That garage door hadn't been opened since last summer, and the seal was kind of stuck to the floor, so it took a fair amount of oomph to move it. I think I probably stressed the back there. So, until my back recovers, as my knee gets a little better, then hopefully I'll be able to get the boat in the water and do some sailing. But we're definitely not going to go in before the first week in June, as of now. But the boat, is ready to go in, except, for waiting on the parts to rebuild that saltwater pump and doing a little sanding and painting on the foredeck, which isn't going to take long, but, I just have to wait for the epoxy I put down today to cure, which hopefully will be by Friday at the latest. As warm as it is, it'll probably be cured tomorrow, but we'll see. So that's where we are right now, still in the boat shed. So this is my boating season so far, sailing the boat in the shed. I'm not the only one who hasn't launched. My neighbor here in his power boat is still in. And that Sabre 362 over there is still in. The guy was there working on it a few weeks ago, but I haven't seen any sign of him since. The only boat that I've noticed around here that went in, let me get up and I'll show you. The only boat that's gone in is the Bristol Channel Cutter 28 that was sitting there, which makes access to my boat a lot easier. So anyway, that's where we are today. May 28, 2025. Thanks for watching.